I came back from Big River in the rain, and by the time I got to Saskatoon, it was sunny and hot. I had a few hours to prepare, and then I was out to camp with my cousin on the South Saskatchewan River. The second half of this video, you'll see Camp Wolfwillow on the other bank of the river that we were on, where we went with a couple of friends and did some fishing on Lake Diefenbaker.
This is like 4 or 5 pounds pressure on.
And generally did what
That's a nice one.
4 really close friends who haven't seen each other in a while.
Doesn't seem to be very timid as he walks right up to your foot. I'm out on another river. We're kind of getting ready for a thunderstorm, but we haven't had supper yet, so I'm out here with my cousin. The river is higher than last year and it's cutting into this bank. These bank swallows are having a feast, I think. The wind has shifted, which means I might have to shift my setup over a little bit, which is easily done. My camp for the night. In the back you can see my cousin's little stealth tent, and this is my cousin's chair. It was really hot and muggy earlier, and now the wind has picked up. It's cooled down quite a bit. I think we are in for rain. Set up in a beautiful little cottonwood grove, really close to the South Saskatchewan River here. We're cooking supper right beside the river. There's a bunch of pelicans out there. They're a long ways away. All in all, a very cozy night. Very comfortable. Ground's nice and soft here. Not sure how my cousin fared in that tight little tent, but I'm sure he isn't going to complain. It's really nice this morning. The mosquitoes aren't too bad. I love how open this is, but still has the trees. These cottonwoods are pretty. And even in the tall grass, haven't found a single tick. Did rain a little bit last night. I didn't need to adjust it. It seemed to rain straight down, and I might have got one drop on my face. I was awake. It was in the morning when it was raining, just before dawn. I'd like to put the Jurassic Park theme. Watching them run. But that's not legal. Then they'll just take my video down. Did you get the Lauren Green's one in the last? What did you watch the Harrier one? Yeah. Get the Lauren Green one, where the Harrier comes straight at me. I put the Lauren Green theme on there because it's open. It's open license now.
I had to zoom a lot of shots of the wildlife, and the wind was making it pretty hard to keep steady. Here's a murder of crows and a kingbird that was quite a ways away. Kingbirds are really interesting birds. They'll take on just about anything. They're fearless. When another bird enters the kingbird's territory, it'll attack it. And when one of the pair attacks another bird, the other one usually joins the fray. So it doesn't matter what size the bird is, they'll chase it off. The high water levels this year have dug into this western bank, this spot. You can see where that post used to be in the ground, and yeah, these bank swallows have had to redig their holes a couple times likely. This river doesn't have the small scale charm of the big river with its spruce lined banks and willows and white-throated sparrows. It does have an abundance of plant life, lots of berries along the shoreline, lots of creeping juniper, deer everywhere you look, and plenty of bird life.
These are cedar waxwings. Cool view, right? Warbler. Yeah. Yellow warbler.
On this occasion, most of the birds were kind of shy, and that's the way it is at a lot of places. When you're just there for a day, the birds and the mammals don't really get used to you, and they kind of hide, stay out of sight. They'll still make a lot of noise, but you won't be able to see them. Whereas later at Camp Wolf Willow, where there's people around all the time, the birds and the mammals are quite tame. Didn't find many Saskatoons, although there are some ripe in the area, but we did find a few nice wild strawberries.
Right here.
I risked laying down on top of a quite unstable bank to try to get a shot inside the nests of those bank
really
swallows, and
Deep in there.
they either are empty or those nests are far.
Oh, I left my headlamp.
There's always plenty to do along a river, whether you're fishing or swimming, hanging out on the beach, just finding local plants and fauna. It's really, really pretty along the South Saskatchewan. I could spend a day just looking around, going for walks. Some people don't seem to have that ability.
Gonna flat bottom ones?
The thing is, if you are open to the experience and open your eyes and your ears, there's always interesting things to be found. Interesting things to see. Maybe a bird that you've never seen before. This is a good example. This appears to be a marbled godwit, which I've never seen before. I grew up in east central Saskatchewan, and where we're camping along the South Saskatchewan River is probably the northern extent of this bird's range, and it breeds in the Central Plains area. Here's a closer look. You can see that interesting two-tone upturned bill. It's an interesting looking bird. Now, I was out looking for deer, and of course there are the ever-present killdeer plovers, but this is a good find. Certainly a noisy bird. I enjoyed seeing it though. Something out of the ordinary. Something you don't see every day. And that's why I go out to the rivers and to the bush, to see things that I don't see every day. Killdeer and tiger beetles remind me of each other. Sun was getting low in the sky as we walked back, hoping as we were walking into the wind that we'd be running into a few deer coming in for water, but we didn't see any. Aaron decided to try his luck. And as I was making supper, I had my camera somewhere else, and there was a mule deer came up right by that fence. I was trying to capture how incredibly pink the bottoms of these clouds were. It was dead still, super calm. The current was still flowing, but there was no wind. We sat around quite a while. A nice long fire.
I rarely move quickly if I don't have to, but taking down camp for me is often a drawn-out affair. I'm usually reluctant to leave a good site.
Seems to have, yeah.
As I had buried the fire well the night before, it was simple to rebuild the fire from hot coals. I added some shredded inner bark from the dead cottonwoods and let the breeze do the rest. Burning the coals overnight had created charcoal, and what we had was a little forge. I kept pushing the coals together until there was a little to disperse, and then we prepared for the ride home and wished we could stay longer. Just a few days later, we were back on the South Saskatchewan near Outlook Sask at Camp Wolf Willow, where I had worked and camped for a year and a half. Coming back to a place you've known so intimately is always poignant. It was much the same as the first summer I lived there, though the river is much higher, the beach underwater, and my canine companion gone and sorely missed. Many days the first summer I had the campground to myself, me, my dog, and the birds. This weekend the campground was busy and I was camping with 3 friends. Our site was named Pelican, though perhaps it should have been called Catbird, as one of these was a constant, noisy neighbor. Each site here is named for a bird. The campground is home to many songbirds. The orchard attracts cedar waxwings by the dozen. There are thrashers, warblers, robins, bank swallows, tree and barn swallows, owls and hawks, eagles, vultures, corvids and wading birds, waterfowl at the beaver pond, goldfinches, sparrows and blackbirds, kingbirds and killdeer. After a huge protein-rich brunch, we were off to Lake Diefenbaker to stock some walleye. We settled into a small bay on the northern shore. I was more excited to see an osprey overhead, so while the others fished, I tracked the large fish eagle in the clear sky.
Well, I got it flying away. I'm back. I think it dropped it because it's still hunting.
Yeah. We also saw some turkey buzzards a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there's lots down the riverbank.
Yeah. It's not something you see very often.
Being harassed all the time. These little birds are trying to chase it away. Looks like those look like meadowlarks actually.
While the fishing was not amazing, we had a bite or a fish on each pass up and down the bay. So for a calm, sunny day, we were pretty happy with the few serving-sized walleye we landed. My cousin Aaron had the most success.
You got a jack for some reason, or you just got a decent? Ooh,
Taking line.
You got something other than you got a jack or a big walleye.
It's a good size.
Oh, it's massive. Yeah. Oh, it's a big walleye. It's a big walleye. Holy! Oh, you got a tank.
Nice.
This is like 4 or 5 pounds.
Pressure on. That's a nice walleye.
Oh!
Yeah, there we go.
Good job.
See, I made up for the 2 baby fish. You're just practicing.
Hook's off already?
I got the first one.
There's
Anyway.
no. It's not happening. Pretty good.
Anyway.
Oh no, he's fine. Just drop him in.
Back at Wolf Willow, we fried up the fish and a few other pieces of meat and settled in for a long evening of guy talk.
You are a fat squirrel. That would be a good meal, actually. He doesn't seem to be very timid as he walks right up to your foot. Unbelievable. Aaron would totally want to hunt this thing. Yeah, there's a couple of them. Either in the water or they snuck back onto the island somewhere.
next afternoon, I headed out for a quick hike on the South Trail I blazed last year. The trails to the north and south of the campground offer spectacular views of the river and the surrounding area. You'll possibly see moose, deer in the flats and in the meadows. There are nesting crows and nesting ravens, mourning doves. Crows, ravens, and hawks usually nest in trees. We really couldn't tell whose nest this was. I'd like to think it was a bald eagle, but it's hard to say. There's a nesting site of a pair of red-tailed hawks along the South Trail. Nesting hawks over closer to those big ashes that you can see on the hilltop there. The
trail leads down to the river. You may see bank swallows. There are mourning doves all the way along. Further down the South Trail, and I didn't get to it on this day, there's a broad expanse of juniper and wolf willow that is perfect for a picnic lunch. Hi there, it's Paul. I'd just like to thank you all for watching these videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do like and share my videos. Click on the bell to get notifications of the new videos that come out. Leave a comment below if you like what you see, if there's any ideas that you would like me to do in a video. Different types of instruction or experiences that you are interested in. I have a lot of projects that I'm interested in doing, more on the primitive camping, more of the traditional life ways, and spending more time outdoors is always a good thing. That's why I do what I do. I love to just camp all the time, full time. I don't have a fixed address really. I have a box number, and that's about it, pretty much it. But I do spend a lot of time in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and the rest of my time I try to spend outdoors in varying parts of the province. A lot of what I'm looking to do in the near future is more long trips, wilderness excursions. I can document northern Saskatchewan and all its beauty. It really is a fantastic place. If you think Saskatchewan is mainly just prairie and grassland, well, that's only the southern part of the province. There's 2/3 of the province further north that is barely inhabited. It's Canadian Shield, rock and lakes, lots and lots of forest. So it's amazing. There are rivers up there that nobody goes on very often. Lots and lots of muskeg, moose, bear. It's amazing. I'd like to do some minimalist camping with primitive kit and long extended stays in the bush. I'd like to do some canoe trips with primitive items, more voyageur style and less the modern conveniences. So in the meantime, thanks for watching again, and please like, share, and subscribe, and go spend some time outdoors.